How do you proficiently and easily begin to delegate, remove, offload, whatever your word is, these activities that are low energy? You do not like to do them. Some of them you might not be particularly even good at doing them. How do we begin to move them? But instead of abdicate, which I know that was something for me, abdicate means I just took the activity, gave it to someone else and said, you figure it out. Not the best way to transfer an activity off your plate. But instead of abdicate it, really transfer it where the person that's doing that is actually doing it much more successful than you. How do we do that? So we're going to look at this in a couple different stages. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to a term that I recently read. This is not something that I've used for a long time, but I thought it was a pretty cool term to use. It's a term called playbook. Has anyone heard that term used in SOPs, playbook? It's pretty cool. So playbook comes, in the world of, let's say sports, football. Football has a playbook. A playbook is really the SOP, the standard operating procedure. It's the plays, is if this happens, then this happens, and we go here and we do that. It's to get everybody on the same page, to get everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the idea of where I got this from is, well, an SOP, a system or a process that you have in your business is similar to having a playbook for how to do that particular thing. So I'll interchange that term playbook with the term SOP or standard operating procedure, which comes from the military. So how do you remove an activity from your plate? Well, the first thing is, we'll choose one. How do you choose one? I think choosing one that A, is a really deep, low energy activity, virtually something that you absolutely hate. And two, it doesn't really cost anything for you to remove it. So you choose the one that you absolutely hate the most that costs you the least. Does anybody have an activity like that on their plate? You absolutely don't want to do this. You don't like to do this. It sucks the living daylights out of your energy. And you don't have to pay, to Graham's, you don't have to pay someone a ton of money to do it. Perhaps there's already somebody in your company that is doing this or supposed to be doing this, and yet you're still holding on. Or maybe it could just go on someone else's schedule that has the bandwidth to do that they actually like to do these types of things. Does everyone have one of those? Or better yet, does anyone not have an activity like that? All right. The easiest way, and when I started doing this, I was just blown away how easy this really is, especially with technology the way it is now. Technology, when I was starting to do this 15 years ago, was nowhere near the way it is now. The easiest way to do this is record yourself doing it. Let me repeat that. Record yourself doing the activity, talking about the activity. With all of the technology, if it's something that you're actually can share on your screen, you can use like Loom, L-O-O-M. I have Loom, I have a subscription to Loom, but you can use Loom, there's a free version. And basically Loom is kind of like a voiceover thing. Companies use Loom when you're like doing training videos. So it's someone showing you on screen how to do something while you're voice-overing on there. You can choose to be on the screen too or not. But you can do something like that, or you can just flat out record yourself with your phone or with your computer, with Zoom or whatever other recording device, and you can record yourself actually just describing the particular task that you're doing. Now, it may take a little bit of prep work because you're going to have to think, well, okay, what am I doing here? What is this task? What is it supposed to be? But at the very least, you literally just describe it. So I wrote down an example here, hiring. An example for hiring would be you going through one part of hiring. Like there's lots of part hiring. We're going to start really simple. We're not going to create a whole playbook for an entire, area of your business. We're just going to do one SOP for one task. You can have multiple tasks, obviously. So for hiring, the way I teach hiring in our Right Fit hiring program is we split it up into 4 areas: attracting, hiring, onboarding, and training. So if I was teaching, let's say, you know what, I don't really like going on Indeed or setting up the ad or reviewing the resumes. I don't really like to do that. I know how to do it. I've done it in the past, but I don't want to do it. So all I would do is I would record exactly what I have done. Okay, so hey, this is Jamey. So what I'm going to do right now is when we need to hire, let's say, a therapist, we grab the job ad, which is right here located in this place, and we're going to put the job ad on Indeed. So it's pretty simple how you do it. You go on Indeed, here's the account, we have all the information on that. You upload it here, you put in the title, you put in all those other things, and then you click this switch, and then you press this button, and now the Indeed ad is going to run for 30 days. Once you start getting resumes, you're going to do what's called a resume review. Next video, here's how you do a resume review. And you can have a resume on your screen. So when I get a resume, I look at, first of all, any dates that seem to have gaps of employment. So if they have gaps of employment, I'll either say, forget it, throw it in the trash, or if there's reasons why they have gaps in employment, then I'll accept that. If not, it's at least questions I'll ask on the phone interview. I look at, do they describe specifically the roles they were doing? You know, do they have how much they were getting paid at each job? Whatever your criteria in a resume review is, that could be a video. The next could be, we teach how to do a short phone interview. So I've actually done a video of doing a phone interview. So here's how I do a phone interview. Here are the 3-4 questions that I ask, but most importantly, I'm looking for gaps in their resume. I'm asking them what attracted them to our ad. And if it feels like a good situation, and I feel like this person is at least worth an in-person interview, then right there on the phone interview, I'm going to invite them in for an in-person video or in-person interview. And if they say yes, then I'll go ahead and schedule them, or I'll have someone else schedule, whatever your SOP is, and then we're done. So let me pause right there. I like things simple, really, really simple. And I like using my time very efficiently. Questions? What's difficult about it? What's a resistance point that you have in doing that? Is it easy to do? Has anyone shot a video before?
It's easy, but it's not fun to be on camera or to have to hear yourself.
Okay. Can I be a little flippant with you?
Sure.
Can you just get over that?
Yep.
Good. Because if you get over it, you're going to get rid of the activity. If you don't get over it, then either you're going to keep something you don't like and feel trapped, or you're going to delegate something that's not going to be fair to the person you're delegating it because they can't read your mind. And if you delegate something and you don't give them the things they need to be successful, then you're relying on them to figure it out, which you're not going to be happy with that, or they're going to come and ask you a lot of questions all the time, which you're not going to be happy with that. So the other thing about being on camera, first of all, if it's something that you're showing people, you don't actually have to be on camera. Like a Loom video is a screen sharing thing. But if it's something just you, I don't know, you're on camera right now, we're recording it. I mean, you're just looking at a screen. So if we think about how it could help someone else, maybe reframing of this is helping someone else can get you out of that own place of I feel weird, I feel bad, I feel all that. Look, having the business that I described, this business of practice freedom and removing yourself from day to day, making a lot of money, having control of your, it doesn't come without stuff. We got to do some stuff. Most of the stuff we have to do is get over our quirks and our issues. That's the biggest thing. So aside from that, anything else?
Just to Where do you store this stuff? Like we have our SOPs in a binder, but
Great question.
Use a Google Drive or something, or?
I'm going to get flippant again with you. Get in the 21st century.
I am in the 21st century.
Well, a binder isn't the 21st century unless the binder is called Google Docs. A minimum should be a Google Doc.
It is in a Google Doc. It's
you said a binder.
It's a printed version for easy reference.
So looking for a binder is easier than everyone having access to a shared folder and going to the subfolder that says hiring and then going to, how to post a job ad and then having a video right there. Now, having both is fine. I'm all for having both. But yes, I think minimum is doing Google. Now, if you want to be more advanced, there are a ton of great project management SOP softwares out there. So in my company, we use Asana. There's also like a Tranual. There's also, what was another one I used? There's Basecamp. There's probably more and more. But if you just type in, Asana, if they're doing their marketing properly, you're going to see on Google a million others that come up. So what we'll talk about in the next step is actually listing out some of the task steps. So in that case, you actually, have it inside a platform to make it even more easy to follow and house and track and all that. But at the very least, if you already have it in Google, the only thing I'd recommend is make sure you have a very searchable naming strategy. It might sound easy, but I can't tell you how many things I literally can't find because we didn't have a naming strategy. And every time an employee left that was in charge of that, I couldn't find anything. And then someone else came on board and created their own way of doing things. Instead of saying, hey, here's an SOP of actually how we name our SOPs, or as I like to call, the SOP of the SOP. What is our playbook of developing playbooks? So you want to have it that specific because you want everyone following it. So then your SOPs don't walk away when your employee leaves. And many of us, if not all of us, have been victims of my entire process just left with that employee because they had it all up here. And we want to get that into a very easily searchable and easily shareable format.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? This is going to be your homework for next week, by the way. You're going to take an activity and you're going to record 3 videos. Same video, but every time you do it, it's going to be slightly different. And you're going to choose the best one. And if you use a transcription service, like the one I'm using right now, 𝐕𝐝𝐻, which is free for Zoom, you can not only record the video, but it'll transcribe it for you. So now you have a written version of it. So all you have to do is kind of edit the written version instead of rewriting everything you just said. So that makes it even easier to edit. I didn't say you have to edit though. So that's step 1. Step 1 is choose a task and shoot a video recording the task, and shoot 3 of them because every video will be slightly different. And then you'll have the best one. Step 2, create a checklist. This one I struggled with for a while. This one clients of mine over the years have struggled with because we overcomplicate, over detail this sections. And I have a client right now who's very into detail. And I think her hiring process might be 5-6 pages of small 8 font print. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is if someone can't digest what they're actually trying to learn, it's difficult then to learn it. So when I say create a checklist, you're looking at the basic steps, the higher level steps. not the intricate details. You can add those later, but I'm kind of I mean, first of all, I have ADD, and second of all, I'm a gist person. My whole life is gist. I just want to get the gist of it. Just tell me enough to get the gist of it. So if I get way too much detail in something, you're going to lose me in about 2 seconds. Give me an idea. What are the high-level steps into hiring? So I kind of gave you an example here. Well, first of all, post an ad on Indeed and other job boards. So whatever the places you typically post ads on. Second, you can post on social media. Third would be, send ad to previous candidates and interns. That could be one. So all three of those are where to post the ad. Can't tell you how many times people are like, well, where do I post my ad? And if you don't know where to post it, then it becomes impossible for that thing to ever be delegated to somebody, because then they don't know where to post it. But if you do know where to post it, someone else can technically do that. It doesn't take your skill level and your expertise to post an ad on Indeed. So one section of hiring should be, well, where do we post the ad? Of course, it would also include where is the ad housed, but that could be on there as well. You start getting resumes. This is where your resume review would come in. So review the resume. Third would be perform an initial phone interview. Then, of course, a phone interview would have its own steps. Another one would be invite your top candidates to an in-person interview. And then if someone else was actually doing this task, let's say an office manager, clinical director, who have you, then their final step would be, if you wanted to be there part of the interview, add it to your calendar. So those would be the high-level steps. Could there be more steps? Sure. But I think adding more steps versus less, I think, is a mistake, because we lose people in the minutia of the detail. Because when in doubt, if you add the high-level steps to the video, plus if you have that transcription, but at least the high-level steps to the video, someone will be able to get it enough that as they actually do it and practice it, they'll start to tweak it, they'll make it better, and they'll own it. So this process of creating an SOP or a playbook isn't perfect, but in my experience, we are all very smart people, and we overthink this, and we never get the SOPs actually out there for our staff to use them. They might be out there in manuals and in all kinds of different places in binders, but no one actually uses it. We want to make this usable. Give me something that's usable versus give me something that's more complete. If they're not using this, then we've defeated the purpose. And then we end up holding on to it because they didn't do it the right way.